Hello there guys, welcome to the second Logic Pro 9 video I'm doing. I apologise in advance, I'm very hyper today, I'm feeling very enthusiastic and I can't wait to show you guys how we actually sampled the vocals in our latest song Starlight. So yeah, actually that helps me introduce the video. Today I'm actually going to be taking you inside the Starlight project itself. This video would be great for any of you producers out there that are perhaps looking for a few tips and tricks, or for any of you producers out there that are just curious to see how we actually do things ourselves. Now this video isn't going to be too long, and I'm only going to be focusing on the vocal sampling today. I'll expand on the video series, and in each video we'll have a look at various parts of this project. So today we're going to be focusing, as I said, on the sampled vocals in Starlight. In our next video we'll probably take a look at some of the instrumentation. So we'll have a look, let's say we'll look at the drums and the bass in the next video, and so on. So we'll make a series of videos and hopefully you guys will benefit from them. And to finish the series off, I'm actually going to do quite a lengthy video on how we mastered this song. So yeah, that should be good for you guys as well, that perhaps new to the idea of mastering or are unsure on some of the processes involved in actually doing a decent master. Okay, time to focus on the vocal. So, as most of you may know, Starlight has a sampled vocal in it. Now this sampled vocal obviously had to come from somewhere, and the samples actually came from an original idea that Tom had for this song. It was a vocal chorus, it had lyrics and everything else, and this is the audio track here. So I'm going to play you the original chorus idea we had, and then I'm going to show you how we then sampled it and turned it into an instrument.
We couldn't be so good, could have stolen other hearts. We could have ruled the world, but I knew it from the start. That everything is good if you make your chance your own. Now we're stuck alone like a melody unknown.
Okay, so there's the original vocal. Now that sounds quite nice with the music, although after I played around with it for a while and stuff, me and Tom both realised that we actually really preferred the sampled style. It just kind of added that nice sort of poppy, disco, sort of quirky, synthetic sort of feel to the song. We really felt it added to the feel of the song as well, so we decided to, instead of using the original as it was intended, we decided to cut the original up and use the samples instead. So this is how we did it. So here's our audio file here. I'm going to merge this for you quickly. Okay, so this is what the original audio file looked like, and this is the waveform of Tom's chorus vocal. And what I did was I cut up various sections using the Marquee Tool in Logic. Now the Marquee Tool is basically a tool you can use to select areas of a song that you want to play, for example, like this.
Stolen other heart. The world, but I knew it.
It's also good for highlighting and cutting areas as well. So that's what I've used the Marquee Tool for. So here I've got a bunch of areas that I've already cut up beforehand for the sake of this video. And the areas I've cut up are basically the areas that I really like the sound of. And so I'm going to solo these sections so you can hear them, and I'll explain why I've chosen these sections.
Don't knew it. Make known.
Okay, so altogether I've chosen 6 audio samples here that I want to use in my sampler. So I used the Marquee Tool, I dragged the selection over the audio I wanted to use, and then I clicked on it. It was that easy. So once I've done that, all I need to do now is I need to click on the audio regions. So I hold down Shift and I highlight every region that I want in my sampler. Once I've done that, I just right click on the audio region and click on Convert to New Sampler Track. Now this is a really great and fun feature. I use this all the time. I kid you not, in every single Televisor song we have used a sampler in one way or another. And one thing we love to do is to sample our own music and rework it and change it and create new parts out of it. And you'd be surprised actually how inspiring it is to rework your old musical ideas and to create something new out of them. It just goes to show that you can recycle old ideas and create something fresh and new out of them. Okay, so go to Convert, click on Convert to New Sample Track. You can call this track whatever you want, so I'm going to call it Vocal Samples. Okay, so as you can see, Logic has now created a sampler track for us underneath this vocal track that we've just sampled. It's also created some MIDI regions here with the vocal notes in them. So if I click on this MIDI note, it's going to play this vocal sample.
Don't
And this one.
do it ever make your own.
Okay, so now we've got those vocal samples that we can play with. And if you've got a MIDI controller, like a MIDI keyboard or an Ovation Launchpad or anything that sends and receives MIDI CC data that you can use in Logic, then you can actually play those samples that you've just created. So I've got a MIDI keyboard controller here, my Moog Little Fatty. I'm going to use this to play the samples for you. So here we go. Okay, so you'll notice a clear difference in sound between the original and the vocal samples. Not in the context of arrangement or musicality, but in the actual tonal qualities of the voice. And this is because when you create a sampler track using this method in Logic, the audio isn't actually isn't actually exported into the sampler with all the plugins on. So what I need to do now is I need to copy all the plugins from the original vocal channel, which is this one here, highlighted, and I need to place them onto this sampled vocal track here. So I'm just going to hold down Alt and Command, and that will allow me to copy and drag the plugins from one channel to another without me having to open them and to copy the settings over. Okay, now I've done that, you'll immediately hear a difference. Even though these vocals are sampled, in terms of timbre and in terms of tonality and effects, they will sound just like the original. Okay, so we've got 6 vocal samples there that we can play with. And yeah, that's it. That's basically how you create a sampler in Logic. And more specifically, that's how we created our vocal sampler in Logic for this song. I'm going to delete that sample track I just made, and I'm going to pay attention to the actual sample track we used in our project. Now we used two. We used one for the verses and one for the choruses. So I'm going to show you the chorus one. I'm going to solo it, and I'm going to show you the MIDI information, so you can get a sense as to how we actually composed the vocal melody. So if I click on these MIDI notes here, okay, so you can hear there's different vocal parts chopped up and then played in the sampler here. So I'm going to play this now so you can hear what it sounds like at full tempo. Okay, now for those of you that are new to Logic, you might be wondering why the notes are different colours. Basically, a different colour represents a different note velocity. A note velocity is basically, it means note volume. So the lighter the colour, the lower the velocity, which means the quieter the sound is, and the darker the colour, the higher the velocity. Now, these notes have different volumes or velocities for a reason, and that's because the dynamic performance, the dynamic range of Tom's vocal, not all of the words or the samples we've used are the same volume, so we've had to compensate by using velocity on each note to ensure that the sampled vocals are consistent with volume. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. I think I will stop the video there. It's quite a nice short little video. I hope that this actually helped you out and gave you an insight into how we actually created these vocals. Please go ahead and use this technique yourself. By all means, I welcome you to experiment and to try various things. Now, the sampling technique, you can use this with a range of things. Any audio you like. It doesn't have to be vocals. You could sample, your own music, and you could create new parts. You could sample noises you record with a microphone. There's so many really cool and experimental things you could do with sampling. So I really encourage you guys to just delve into sampling more and just to experiment to see what you can come up with. Because a lot of people seem really sort of baffled and in awe over our vocal sound in the song, and it's actually very simple. It's actually a very simple technique. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. In the next video, I'm going to go over some more of the instrumentation in this song. So I'll be going over the drums and the bass, I think, in the next video. And then in the videos after that, I'll be talking about other things such as the chords and the synthesizers we used, and the guitar sound, the trumpets, and so on. And then to round the video series off, I think I'll talk about how I actually mastered this song. I think that would benefit you guys a lot, especially some of the more newer producers out there that are actually looking for advice on how to master music and how to get it at that commercial level. Not just in terms of volume, but in terms of audio fidelity, and having sonically having a very pleasing and very full and dynamic track. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. How